the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, so did the alliance of the Warsaw Pact. The successor of the pact is known as the Collective Security Treaty Organization, also known as the CSTO. The alliance currently consists of 6 former Soviet countries and was created to counterweight NATO power within Europe and was signed almost immediately after the end of the Cold War in 1992. The alliance is, however, seen to be ineffective due to member states refusing to participate in military intervention after Kyrgyzstan invoked the defense treaty after being attacked by guerrilla fighters, and with many of its members, aside from that of Belarus and Russia, having relatively close ties with the United States. One of the CSTO members, Armenia, maintains a more neutral stance between that of Russia and the United States. So how exactly do Armenia and the United States get along with one another? We will get into that within today's video, the U.S. Relations series, in which we'll be going over the relationship between that of the United States of America and their European, Middle Eastern, you know what, I don't fucking know, this area of the world's country of Armenia. Relations between the two countries were established nearly immediately after the end of the Cold War, when Armenia gained independence from the Soviet Union. Just 3 months later, the United States then opened up an embassy within Armenia's capital city. The United States then started to help Armenia reform from its previous authoritarian state to a new developing democracy. Nearly $2 billion worth of aid was given to Armenia to further their modernization progress. Today, there's not much trade or economic ties between the two countries, but the United States does aid quite a bit on the humanitarian front. Armenia signed a Millennium Challenge Compact with the United States, which states that the U.S. would give $235 million to Armenia over a 5-year period to help fund irrigation systems and the building of infrastructure within Armenia. The United States also provided housing to 30,000 Armenians who were displaced by either the Russians or the Turks. This was done by building housing complexes throughout multiple areas of the country. Currently, 85% of Armenia's humanitarian aid comes from that of the United States. But let's face it, the United States helping Armenia is more just to be a big middle finger to that of Russia. Hey Russia, it seems like your child likes me better.
Turkey, my friend, come over here.
What's up?
You know what? It's on. The United States also runs international programs that monitor elections within Armenia to make sure that they are fair. This includes combating corruption and monitoring voters. The U.S. also implements programs that promote democratic reforms and free market systems. Relations between the two were soured in 2010 after WikiLeaks documents revealed that Armenia sold arms and rockets to Iran back in 2003, which contributed to the deaths of American soldiers in Iraq and violated the arms embargo imposed on Iran. The U.S. then responded by imposing sanctions onto Armenia, and diplomats then traveled to Armenia to strike a deal with the country to no longer sell arms to Iran from that point further. Armenia agreed and took partial responsibility for the deaths of the U.S. soldiers that were at the hands of the Iranians. The two have a pretty weird mixed relationship with one another. On one hand, the current U.S. President Donald Trump signed a bill that would cut 65% of Armenian foreign aid starting in 2020. This did get a pretty negative response from that of Armenia. But however, recently on October 29th of this year, Donald Trump did formally recognize the events of the Armenian genocide, which can result in the deteriorating U.S.-Turkey relations, but may improve our relationships with that of Armenia. Yo, USA, what's up, bro?
The U.S. House of Representatives voted to recognize the Armenian genocide for the first time.
What the fuck is this, bro? Surprisingly, the two countries have a fairly close military tie. The U.S. does have smaller lily pad bases in Armenia, and Armenia frequently participates in joint NATO military exercises. This is quite odd due to Armenia being a part of the Collective Security Treaty Organization, which is NATO's opposing military alliance. At the time of today's video, the United States and Armenia would have had bilateral relations for 27 years already, and the two have embassies within each other's capitals. Today's video is relatively short due to the lack of history between the two countries, but thank you for watching the International Relations series. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to leave a comment down below to explain why you liked today's video. See you guys next time when we go over the relationship between that of the United States of America and the oceanic country of Australia. See you guys soon.